All right, it's day 2 and I'm getting ready to take the dozer over to the spot for the second deer blind. It's gonna take me a little while because this dozer is a little slow, but let's go ahead and head that way.
The next blind that I am preparing to move, what I call blind number 3, is currently located here. Over the years, we've seen quite a few does and a few young bucks at this feeder. However, we have never seen many older bucks at this location because they tend to be more wary and generally avoid feeding out in the open, at least during daylight hours. Therefore, my plan is to move this blind and feeder to a new spot in the woods to see if things improve. Before I make this move though, I will need to clear a path to the blind location, put in a feeder lane, and cut some new paths to connect with existing roads.
Okay, so those blinds that I have are 23 feet tall, and they're probably going to be on a 24-foot long trailer. And it's going to come up this road and take this turn here. So I think I'm going to try and push some of these trees back and maybe push some of those cedars on that side back a little bit, just to make it an easier turn for that 24-foot trailer whenever it comes. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that off. I don't think I need to cut any of the cedars on that side because I think that this is a wide enough berth that the trailer won't have any problem getting through here. I tried to back blade here a little bit just to kind of smooth it out. It's kind of hard with a dozer, so I'll probably use my tractor and come back through with the bucket and smooth this out a little bit tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, I will take you to the spot where the second blind is going to go. It's around the corner there and a little further down. And I'm going to clear a road around so I can put my feeder away from the blind on a straight shot, and then have this road intersect the feeder and continue on to the back. And so it's going to be a lot of clearing tomorrow in this forest over here. And so I want to have a good fresh start in the morning to get all that done since it's getting late tonight. Welcome to day 3 of the dozer work. As I mentioned last night, I stopped before I got to the spot for the second deer blind, and I think I'm going to go ahead and blaze some paths toward that spot so that the guys have an easy way to get there when they come to move that blind. And then of course, when I get to that spot, I'll clear it out really well so that they've got enough room to maneuver the trailer. And I'll also doze a path to the spot for the feeder for that blind. So let's go ahead and get after it. Okay, now that I've got kind of a clear path from the beginning all the way over to this area where they'll be able to negotiate the turn easier because I've dozed out a path here. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the spot where the blind is going to go, and that's going to be just on the other side of this little U that I just dozed out there. And the reason I did that is for two reasons. Number one, it would have been difficult for the trailer to get around these big oaks, and I didn't want to take these oaks down. And number two, that U-shaped area will be a good spot to park any vehicle. When you come to hunt, you can park it in this little alcove and you won't be visible. But I'm gonna make the spot for the blind right in here. So I'm gonna come in here and doze all of this section out. Nice big wide circle so that you can see there's a lot of dead trees and a lot of cedars in here, so no problem getting rid of those. And then I'm gonna doze a path straight ahead for the feeder. And that way you'll be able to see when you're in the blind sitting right here, you'll be able to see that way, and you'll be able to see that way for any animals that come out, and also straight ahead for the feeder. So I'm gonna get to doing that right now. Okay, I just cleared out the spot for the blind, and there's the U, the alcove that I cleared out a minute ago. You can see I connected it up with this side so that the trailer with the blind can make a wide sweep over here. Can come in that way and make a wide sweep and put it right there behind the dozer, so that I can have visibility down those senderos. And again, this will be an area where you can park to walk to the blind. So anyway, wanted to get that much done. Now I'm going to blaze a path in front for the feeder lane. I just finished dozing the path for the feeder. It's about a 100-yard shot or so, maybe a little bit less. And as I mentioned, this is where the blind is going to be. We'll have the ability to drive and park back here, and they can bring the blind to set it up with ease right here. And then tomorrow, what I may do is make a couple of paths on either side of the feeder area, one coming and joining up with the road over here, and another coming and joining up with the road over here, so that these guys, when they're dropping off the trailer, dropping off the blind on the trailer, they can get out without having to back up and make all kinds of crazy maneuvers in here because it's kind of tight. Anyway, that's the project for tomorrow, so check back with me then. All right, it's day 4, and I'm getting ready to get back on the dozer, but before I do that, there's a guy that helps me out here on the property once in a while, and he's gonna help smooth out some of the areas that I dozed the other day. And so I was gonna show you that process, and here he comes now with the tractor. So we use a scraper, or some people call them a box blade, to essentially smooth out the areas that were turned up with the dozer. And you can see that it's pretty effective. Had to do a couple of passes because obviously there are some ruts and the box blade will bounce around a little bit and back, but with a couple of passes, you get it pretty smooth pretty quickly. So that's why I don't waste a whole lot of time with the bulldozer trying to smooth these areas out. Once I uproot the trees and the shrubs, because using the tractor and the box blade is a lot faster and just a better way to do it. All right, while he finishes up smoothing out these areas, I'm gonna go hop in the dozer again this morning. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm gonna put 2 roads on either side of that feeder area so that it's easy to maneuver back in there. Unfortunately, I can't take any video while I'm doing it because I need my phone to provide me with the GPS coordinates so that I can connect those roads up. But I promise that I'll show you the end result when I get finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and get after it.
Although I wasn't able to take video along the way, I did manage to capture the moment when I was able to connect up one of the new feeder paths with the existing road. It was a relief to know that the GPS mapping software on my phone actually worked.
All right, it's the end of the day today, and I finally got those 2 trails dozed off of the feeder area. I promised you that I would take you on a tour once I finished, so let's go ahead and take a look.
Here I am driving away from the new blind location to the feeder area. As you can see, I made the space pretty wide open so we can drive around the feeder with ease in the future. The next path I'm showing you is the one I dozed north of the feeder to connect up with the road I made several years ago. This road meanders through the woods and ultimately ends up back at the new blind spot, which you see here. Heading back to the feeder location once again, if I take a left instead of a right, you can see the other path I dozed today. The footage is a little bumpy because I didn't have a chance to box blade this path before taking the video. But in any event, at the end here you can see that this path also connects up with the main road.
All right, that's gonna do it for today. Made some good progress, real happy with the results. Tomorrow I'm gonna work on widening the paths to the spot for the 3rd and final blind move. That one's going to be a little easier. I don't have to create an actual path. I just have to make it a little wider so that the trailer doesn't struggle to get back there. Once I get to that spot for the place where I want to put the 3rd blind, it's going to be pretty easy because it's already relatively open. I just have to clear a couple of trees, not much at all. The major project there is going to be just like over here, creating a lane for the feeder and a couple of lanes off of it so that you can get to and from the feeder without interrupting people in the blind once you've stopped there in the mornings. So stay tuned for that segment, and we'll see how it goes.
If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can also check out one of my other videos here, and stay up to date by subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. Until next time, I'll see you on the ranch.